Cervélo has a brand new Aspero gravel race bike with slightly wider tyre clearance, a fancy new integrated front end and a lower price. Yes, a lower price. But Cervélo has also reduced the stiffness for that cosseting comfort gain. But is it any good? I've been riding the bike for a few weeks now, so here's my review. But before we get into the new Cervélo Aspero, a big thanks to Freewheel who have kitted us out with the latest spring-summer riding gear from Madison clothing. Right, let's start with the bike's price. It's cheaper than before. Well, isn't this nice to see? The new Aspero is cheaper than the old model. This one is the most expensive in the range, costing £5,200 or $5,500, and prices start at just $2,500 for the GRX RX400 build. I tested the old bike and this new one has better wheels, a great bar and fantastic tyres, all for £200 less than the old bike. I still wouldn't call this cheap. Canyon's Grail CF SL7 comes with the same group set for £3,349, but other gravel race bikes will set you back more. The Specialized Crux, for example, comes with Roval's most basic Terra carbon wheels and costs £5,500 or $6,200. Is this a case of Cervélo passing cost reductions onto the customer or a reaction to the industry-wide reductions in bike sales? I don't know, but regardless, it's good to see. Along with the price reduction, the new Aspero brings a stiffness reduction in the frame, aiming to make you more comfortable, therefore sapping less of your energy over a long day, and hopefully making you faster. The two key areas for the change are in the head tube, which is apparently softer, and the bottom bracket stiffness, which is slightly up on the original. From my time riding the Aspero, Cervélo has the balance just right for a bike like this, and I'm convinced making the new Aspero marginally heavier and a little softer has made it faster. The Aspero feels like a fast road bike, but it's impressively capable when on gravel. I'm not suggesting you throw it down a steep switchback in single track, but get into tougher terrain, and it takes a lot to get the Cervélo unsettled. With a 40-tooth chainring and a 1044 cassette, road speeds were manageable, and the 40C WTB Vulpine tyres didn't feel sluggish either. Off-road, however, is where the Aspero really shines. The frame and fork are remarkably good. You get the torque-sharp feeling of Cervélo's soloist when putting down the power, yet the combination of quality tyres, superb carbon contact points, and a frame set that absorbs chatter all adds up to a bike that's just so capable on gravel roads. Like its predecessor, the new Aspero does like to leave the ground. Hit a root or a bump and it loves to get airborne. That said, whereas the previous gen bike would slap into objects before bouncing upwards, this new one takes a bit of the sting out of those impacts, and landing is smoother too. If you take the Aspero into more technically testing terrain, you'll feel a little more exposed. The slammed ride position starts to become noticeable, and even though it does have a shorter 90mm stem on the 56cm size, the steering doesn't feel quite as nimble as bikes with more progressive geometry. That said, we're talking about a full-on race bike designed for smoother gravel, and the Aspero is excellent there. The eagle eye amongst you might have noticed the subtle visual changes over the old bike, noticeably the drop seat stays and the hidden cable routing at the front. Also outgoing is Cervélo's long-standing press-fit BB Right bottom bracket in favour of a threaded BB Right T47A unit. It's the same bottom bracket used in Cervélo Soloist, and it's not the only tech borrowed from the brand's all-rounder road bike. Up front, the new Aspero shares the ST36 headset system, where the brake hoses are semi-integrated into the frame using a D-shaped fork steerer. For bikes with mechanical drivetrains, Cervélo offers a new cable management system called the Clippy Clip, where a split bearing cap allows for cables to be channeled along with the hoses through the head tube. These run under the stem, making servicing and transporting the bike much easier. Cervélo has also included the Reserve 4044 wheel set, which are a more aero option than the old bike's Reserve 32 hoops. These boast a 1mm wider internal rim width of 25mm, and I think they vastly outperform Specialized Crux's Roval Terra wheel set. The Reserve 4044s are built with the Zip's impressive ZR1 hubset. The 66-point engagement means a rapid pickup of just 5 degrees and the weight of under 1,450 grams for the pair. That all contributes to the bike's svelte 8.53 kilogram overall weight. Whilst we're in the wheel department, I want to talk tyres because Cervélo has listened to reviews and made progress here. You can now fit 46mm tyres up on the old bike's 40mm clearance, which is great to see from a versatility standpoint, though some rivals do offer more. I felt the old Aspero was a little limited. Despite a good portion of top racers using tyres around the 40mm mark, bikes like this, even with their racing intentions, are bought by people like me who want to do more than just princess gravel. Having space for bigger tyres like the 50mm clearance offered by the Santa Cruz Stigmata or the latest GT Grey Carbon simply opens your bike up to more terrain. So as a punter, I think it's brilliant to see more tyre clearance here. Good work, Cervélo. The Aspero geometry remains basically unchanged from the first generation, with only slightly longer chainstays and a lower standover to alter the figures. Where lots of Cervélo's rivals have looked to adopt mountain bike inspired geometry, Cervélo has stuck to its guns with a 72-degree head angle and a 73-degree seat tube angle for this 56cm model. That means there's a relatively slammed 580mm stack height and a lengthy 397mm reach, allowing for a speedy ride best suited to long open gravel roads. The seat tube angle especially is classic road stuff and puts you squarely over the crankset for maximum efficiency, aided by the inline carbon post and the short nose Pro logo saddle. At the front, the 72-degree head angle is only a degree shy of what you'd expect of a Cervélo road bike, and something still common for a lot of endurance bike geometry. It's worth mentioning that the fork has an adjustable dropout called the trail mixer. This allows you to change the fork offset. That's useful if you switch to ride in smaller road tyres, which has the effect of decreasing trail. That means you can keep the handling consistent no matter what your setup. While I love the way many other brands are making their gravel bikes longer and slacker at the front end, the Aspero's more aggressive geometry is perfect for its intended riding style, and I think that they've got it spot on. Should you buy it? $5 and a bit grand is a lot to spend on a gravel bike, but at least you're getting a fabulous racer with a great wheel set and a carbon bar. For a dedicated gravel race bike, it's hard to look past the value of Canyon's Grail CF SL7, but I like the extra tyre clearance on the Cervélo, which gives me a more capable bike. Though, my eye's still drawn to the Santa Cruz Stigmata at £4,899. But if you are dead set on a Cervélo, the Aspero is a super versatile, capable off-road bike which is smoother and faster than its predecessor. But would you do the same? I know Liam wouldn't. He'd go for the Specialized Crux, and if you want to see his review of the super light gravel bike, click up here. Remember to give this video a like and subscribe for free. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.